and welcome to Primetime News on Mitv Plus. I am Layo Shobo for Lauren Shaw. Our headline stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima seeks stronger Nigeria Gates Foundation partnership. Power sector attracts $2 billion investment as federal government cuts liabilities to 146 billion naira. TRCN reassures teachers over digital access certification concerns. And on the foreign scene, World Bank to provide financial aid to countries affected by war. In sports, Olympic women's sports to be limited to biological females. And now the news in details. Vice President Kashim Shettima has praised the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for its sustained investment in Nigeria as both sides move to deepen collaboration in key sectors.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to strengthening its partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, describing the organization as a critical ally in driving national development. Speaking during a meeting with a delegation of the foundation at the presidential villa in Abuja, the vice president commended its continued support across health, nutrition, agriculture, and human capital development. Shettima pledged that the federal government will elevate its collaboration with the foundation, particularly in advancing digital transformation, improving agricultural productivity, and tackling malnutrition. He also noted that Nigeria possesses vast potential to become a leading global economy, stressing the need for modern farming techniques, improved irrigation, and the adoption of climate-resilient crop varieties to boost output. Earlier, the president of the foundation's Global Growth and Opportunity Division, Harry Menon, said the visit was aimed at expanding partnership with Nigeria to support ongoing reforms under President Tinubu. Menon highlighted the foundation's priorities, including reducing maternal and child mortality, combating infectious diseases, and promoting inclusive economic growth, noting that Nigeria's progress could serve as a model for other developing nations.
It was a privilege to meet with His Excellency. Nigeria is one of the deep engagement partnerships of the Gates Foundation, and we've had a long-standing and very productive partnership working on the government's priorities around maternal and child health, the elimination of infectious diseases, agriculture, digital transformation, and other sectors, including financial inclusion. Nigeria is going through a very remarkable moment led by the reformist vision of the president and the vice president. There's a lot of very dynamic change underway, and the Gates Foundation is privileged to have the opportunity to partner with the government of Nigeria and with the private sector innovators of Nigeria.
The engagement underscores renewed efforts to align global support with Nigeria's reform agenda and long-term development goals. Folashade Abdusalami, MITV Plus News.
The federal government has said sweeping reforms introduced in Nigeria's power sector under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda are beginning to yield measurable results, with improvements recorded across the electricity value chain. These improvements are said to have attracted $2 billion in investment as the federal government cuts liabilities to 146 billion naira. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, disclosed this in Abuja on Thursday during the inauguration of the new headquarters of the Nigeria Electricity Liability Management Company, describing the development as a critical milestone in strengthening the sector's financial and institutional framework. Adelabu said the reforms anchored on policy overhaul, market liberalization, and institutional strengthening are repositioning the power sector for sustainability and increased private sector participation. Troops of the Operation Wellstroke have rescued a 28-year-old woman identified as Mrs. Itieba at the Se Ubena village in Katsinala local government area of Benue State. This was contained in a statement issued by the acting media information officer of OPWS, Lieutenant Ahmad Zubeiru, and made available to journalists on Thursday. According to Zubeiru, the rescue operation was carried out in collaboration with the state security outfit known as the Benue Civil Protection Guard. The OPWS spokesperson added that two suspected armed herders were also arrested at Mbapa and Ubaunde in Gwere West local government area of the state. He said the troops, acting on credible intelligence, conducted a thorough search and discovered an abandoned suspected criminal hideout. The Federal Capital Territory FCT High Court sitting in Maitama, Abuja on Thursday discharged a former Minister of Aviation, Stella Odua, following the restitution of funds to the federal government. The trial judge, Justice Hamza Mozu, struck out the charge against Odua and her co-defendant, Gloria Odita, after the prosecution confirmed recovery of the alleged proceeds. The Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Rotimi Oyedepo-San, told the court that he had the instruction of the Attorney General of the Federation to confirm that the government had received the value of the subject matter of the charge. Consequently, Moazu held that the charge dated October 13, 2025 was hereby struck out and the defendants accordingly discharged. The court convicted the companies and ordered the restitution of the 1.2 billion naira to the federal government, as well as the forfeiture of 780 million naira recovered during the investigation. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory on Thursday issued a bench warrant for the arrest of a factional national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Kabiru Tureki San, over his failure to appear for arraignment in a criminal case instituted by the police. The trial judge, Justice U.P. Kekemeke, held that Tureki had no justification for his absence in court and consequently ordered his arrest. The former Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs under President Goodluck Jonathan is being prosecuted by the Inspector General of Police on a one-count charge of allegedly providing false information to the police in a petition dated October 2022. The case had earlier come up on January 28 for arraignment, but was stalled due to the defendant's absence, despite a prior court's order directing him to appear. Ruling on the issue, Justice Kekemeke held that the filing of a petition does not hold criminal proceedings unless there is a directive from the Chief Judge to that effect. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says the African gaming industry is gradually evolving into a structured and globally competitive sector driven by policy reforms, technology, and strategic investment. The governor gave the assurance at the third edition of the Africa Gaming Expo held at Eko Hotel and Suites. Our correspondent, Fauzia Gbadenyonka Bakari, reports.
Stakeholders across Africa's gaming ecosystem gathered in Lagos for the third edition of the African Gaming Expo, aimed at exploring opportunities and strengthening collaboration within the fast-growing industry.
Sanwo-Olu, very ably represented by Mrs. Bimbola Hundeyin, the Secretary to the Lagos State Government. Please do keep that applause going. It's not enough.
The event themed African gaming markets frontier to prominence. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Bimbola Salu Ndoyin, said the gaming sector in Africa is experiencing a deliberate transformation. He explained that what once operated as the margin of the former economy is gradually becoming structured, transparent, and attractive to global investors.
With the right frameworks and opportunities, the gaming and digital entertainment ecosystem can serve as a powerful engine for inclusive growth, innovation, and economic advancement. I encourage you to think boldly, collaborate strategically, and contribute meaningfully to shaping a future where Africa does not just participate in the global gaming ecosystem, but is at the center to define the gaming system.
Chief Executive Officer of the Lagos State Lottery and Gaming Authority, Bashir Are, said the expo was designed to position Africa within the global gaming ecosystem. He noted that the event has also boosted tourism and commercial activities in Lagos, attracting international delegates and increasing hotel occupancy.
When you look at the team's agenda, it's tourism and entertainment is part of it. And intentionally, we stick to that. That's where we belong as a lottery and gaming agency. So how can we contribute to that part of the team's agenda? And it is understood by all the cabinet members, Mr. Governor, the Deputy Governor, and also the private sector. That's why we are being supported. There's nothing like this on the continent. You can check with other delegates from all over the world. There's nothing like this on the continent.
Delivering the keynote address, the founder of Mebat's Global Launchpad, Peter Mebat, described gaming as a rapidly expanding global industry and a gateway to wider digital innovation.
So we go through 6 modules about the personality, everything from founder strategy, the pillars of success, how do you choose your core competency, the founder's productivity, because market is very, very competitive. It's about leadership and running teams, international teams. It's about communication and personal brand, negotiations and working with clients, investors, teams, etc. And it's funny enough about survivability, because it's very tough, and physically and mentally a person who trying to achieve something in this market has to be prepared.
Discussions at the expo also focused on regulatory collaboration, technological innovation, responsible gaming, youth empowerment, and sustainable investment across the African continent. Fauziya Gbadyan Kabakari, Mitv Plus News.
Meanwhile, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has commended the Federation of Muslim Women's Association in Nigeria for constructing community clinics at Lesson Village in the Etiosa local government area. The governor also assured that the state government will support the project to improve access to healthcare for residents. Our correspondent reports that the commendation came during a courtesy visit by the association's leadership at Lagos House Arena.
Members of the Federation of Muslim Women Association in Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter, paid a courtesy visit to Governor of Lagos State at Lagos House Marina. The visit provided an opportunity for the association to brief the state government on its ongoing community clinic project at Eleson Village in Etiosa local government area. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu commended the initiative, noting that the project will improve access to healthcare services for residents in the area. Governor Sanwo-Olu said the state government recognizes the role of faith-based organizations in complementing government efforts in healthcare and community development.
This is only for Muslim. No. This is only for Christian. No. This is only for this. This is for everybody. And so if it is for everybody, that means it is something that we need to support, because we are helping government also to do their job. So it is a good thing, it's a worthwhile thing, and it's something that you should be proud of. So it's not anything to worry about. We will support and we believe that you will be able to complete it and complete it well very, very shortly.
Earlier, the Amir of the Lagos State Chapter of the association, Sherifat Ajagbe, reaffirmed the group commitment in supporting government initiatives in key sectors.
To mark the 40th anniversary of the establishment of Form 1 in Lagos State, we have embarked on a community clinic project at Eleson Village along Orchid Road in the Etiosa local government area. The project is about 70% complete. I have the picture here with you. With finishing that will go up about 300 million naira. The final activity marking the 40th anniversary of the annual Family Day Funfair that marks the end of Ramadan activities.
The facility, when completed, is expected to expand access to basic healthcare services for residents of Etiosa Axis and its surrounding communities. Fauziya Gbadniakabakari, Mitv Plus Lagos.
Chairman of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory have reaffirmed their loyalty to the union's national leadership amid renewed tensions over control of the body. The development comes as stakeholders seek to stabilize the union and address lingering disputes over its leadership structure. Our correspondent, Miriam Inakinyon, filed in this report.
Chairman declared their support for the leadership of Musiliu Akinsoya, popularly known as MC Oluomo, during a meeting held at the union's national headquarters in Abuja. The gathering followed what officials described as a failed attempt by a rival faction to take over the leadership of the union. The state leaders described Akinsoya as a dependable and forward-looking figure, stressing their collective commitment to maintaining unity and stability within the organization. Speaking on behalf of the union, the General Secretary Kayode Egbenyogi accused the rival group led by Tajuddin Barua of orchestrating violence and destruction at the National Secretariat in August 2023. He alleged that the faction looted property, damaged facilities, and made efforts to destabilize the union.
It has come to our notice the campaign of calumny they are putting to the public that we had nothing to show. This document shows the chronicle of what has transpired between August 2023 up to date. This document is a chronicle. This document chronicles every transaction that we made within the period under review. We had court cases that are yet to be determined. Even the cases they said has been determined in their favor are chronicled here. Nothing is removed.
Also speaking, the National Financial Secretary, William James, stressed the root of this crisis to disputed congresses and delegate conference dating back 2019.
Court orders or court injunction, and today is crying and shouting about having court judgment here and there. So who is to blame? How can he come into the union second term leadership through the back door? It cannot work. I've also heard the interview recently talking about this judgment, talking about him not being able to enforce the judgment. For the records, to put the record straight, the substantive case that challenged Alhaji Baruwa's election on the 24th, that is that zonal delegate conference, the only election, the only delegate conference that would have given him the right, if he won properly, by the right means, that is the only proper means that would have given him the right of coming back as the president.
Other union officials maintained that the current leadership remained committed to due process, transparency, and the rule of law. They urge members and the general public to rely on verified records as the legal dispute continues.
Unfortunate that he got the first tenure with luck. Let me come to power. Then that's why me as the state chairman of Edo. Such president, am I not supposed to loyal to him? All the Edo State Council, we are loyal to MC Oluomo.
Privilege on constitutional act, abuse of power, hooliganism, and etc. that does not follow the rules of the union.
Stakeholders says efforts are ongoing to restore lasting peace within the union as the leadership tussle continues. Reporting from Abuja, Miriam Inahimion, Mitv Plus News.
The Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, has moved to reassure educators nationwide following concerns over digital access and certification processes. Correspondent Miriam Inakimium has more details in this report.
The Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, has reaffirmed its commitment to regulatory compliance, teacher certification, and inclusivity amid concerns over digital access and portal downtime. At a press briefing in Abuja on Thursday, Registrar of TRCN Dr. Ronke Shoyobo confirmed that the council portal, which experienced a one-week outage in December due to developer issues, is now fully operational. She clarified that all TRCN payments are proceed through the Treasury single account via remitter at the Central Bank of Nigeria, dismissing report linking transaction to Zenith Bank. Dr. Shoyobo also disclosed that the council is exploring offline integration to improve accessibility for educators in areas with poor internet connectivity. She noted that the certification applies to all teachers from early childhood to tertiary education levels.
So with that, I would not advertise at the end of January that people should come and sit for an exam and now my portal will be down. That means I'm being stupid. We still have teachers that cannot access portal because of digital literacy issue. And so that is why everybody has the option to either use the portal or to pay at our state offices. Because our state offices are still very open, but there was never a time this January when our portal was down at all. But it was definitely down for 1 week in December. And that was because of our system. We can show you clearly figures. Because now we're almost 2 million on a database of teachers that are actually registered on our radar at the moment. And some people would have received SMS to say, your license is now due, or your license is going to be due in 3 months. Please contact this particular website and get it renewed. So everybody, clearly all the people that are seated beside me, everybody has clear target for every 3 months.
Track up. The council assures stakeholders that efforts are ongoing to strengthen its digital. Take two. The council assured that stakeholders that The council assures stakeholders that efforts are ongoing to strengthen its digital infrastructure while ensuring no one is left behind in the certification process.
Quantity surveyors in Nigeria have been urged to embrace innovation and modern technology to remain relevant as the construction industry evolves in line with global trends. This was highlighted in Lagos during the
Seminar and investiture of QS Ololade Shukoya as the 9th chairperson of the Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria, alongside the inauguration of the 2025 to 2027 Executive Committee. QS Shokoya noted that the rapidly changing global landscape is a clear signal for professionals to align with emerging technological tools and stressed the need for continuous capacity building to keep pace with modern procurement practices and industry demands. The president of the Registration Board of Nigeria, Obafemi Onoshile, said the theme, Smart Procurement, Smart Quantity Surveyor, Building Efficiency with Technology, underscores the urgency for professionals to innovate and specialize. Also, the president of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, Aminu Bashir, and fellow Adebowale Onyileye emphasized the integration of digital tools and sustainable practices. The event also featured an award to Christiana Ode of the University of Lagos as the best female graduating student.
Technology is the way to go, and that's why this thing is very germane to the present time that we have. What we are looking at as part of the core functions of quantity surveyors, we need to be on top of our game. And in a bid, according to the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyor at this time, with our new president, its aim is to build capacity to develop people through trainings. And that is why this has come as the theme of our seminar, because we need to build ourselves up and be in line with the changing world so that we are not left behind. And that's one of the reasons why we are having this.
We had extensive collaborations with other national and international women organizations to train, educate, and develop our women in aspects that are germane to their growth. We created more visibility through the use of all our social media handles, and were able to bring to the fold a lot of our comatose members who were hitherto left behind on our activities.
If you don't train people, you leave them with their old ideas, they cannot compete. I hope you understand. Now it is the age of AI, isn't it? So with AI and robotics coming to be a reality, traditional means of practicing will be irrelevant. That is why you will have to upskill your competencies in order to be very relevant.
Capacity in BIM technology. 3, ability to undertake e-procurement bidding and accounting systems. Number 4, knowledge and capacity to undertake seamless collaboration workings and operate cloud platforms for archiving and for reviewing project documents online and real time.
Having, want to be smarter than even the smart procurement, because this way it says smart procurement, there's smarter quantities of your. That means we should be smarter. That means we begin to think of ways of decentralizing quantities of it. We have come to the age of, not just having quantities of it, doing everything. And I'm talking about areas of specialization.
Just in time supply, so that things just come in when you need it, and you're able to monitor delivery, suppliers and everything, so that you don't have excesses and all that. So this is one of the softwares that they use, integrated it into the BIM to be able to work, and then of course they use Revit and then the Civil 3D to manage work concerning external works and some of the things that involve the borough. Because in doing this project, they had to create or build new routes.
We go on a commercial break now. When we return, we bring you business news. Please stay with us.
Every day, Lagos wakes up to millions of dreams in motion. From early mornings on the road to ideas taking shape in workshops and markets where business never stands still. Show up for Lagos. To all individual taxpayers in Lagos State, you have until the 31st of March 2026 to file your annual tax returns. To file, log on to www.etax.lirs.net, enter details, file, and click submit. Take notice that failure to file your individual annual income tax returns is a contravention of the extant provisions of the Nigeria Tax Administration Act, NTAA 2025, which attracts administrative penalties in addition to other stiff sanctions as prescribed by the Act. For inquiries, visit www.lirs.gov.ng or call customer service on 0700 call LIRS. This message is from the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now in business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has directed all international money transfer operators, IMTOS, to route remittances through Naira settlement accounts held with authorized dealer banks. The directive reiterated the position of the bank as contained in an earlier policy issued in 2024. The bank also directed all operators to settle remittances using the Bloomberg B-Match real-time rates to enhance market transparency and confidence. The directive, signed by the Director of Trade and Exchange Department, Musa Nakorji, applies to all disbursements to beneficiaries and related settlements from international money transfer operations. Under the new guidelines, IMTOS may designate existing accounts or open new ones and can operate multiple accounts with different ADBS. Now, on the foreign scene, Nicolas Maduro, the former leader of the Venezuela, who was removed by United States forces on January 3rd, is set to appear in a U.S. court for only the second time in weeks since he was abducted to the United States. Maduro's defense has offered only a preview of how it will approach the extraordinary case on Thursday. In his first court appearance in January, Maduro maintained that he was not a traditional defendant, but a prisoner of war and a kidnapped president.
Many questions surrounding his prosecution remains unanswered in the run-up to Thursday's hearing, such as how Maduro may deploy a carousel of legal arguments to challenge the case, what evidence prosecutors will present to support their claims of narco-terrorism and drug trafficking, and ultimately, what would happen in the event again federal prosecutors proved unsuccessful. While the United States has a history of enforcing its domestic law against foreign individuals, the prosecution of sitting and former heads of state has been exceedingly rare. The World Bank Group says it will support clients' government as they deal with challenges brought on by the war across the Middle East, including major increases in energy costs, by leveraging fast disbursing policy financing instruments. The development lender, in a statement, said it is ready to respond at scale, combining immediate financial relief with policy expertise and private sector support for the recovery of jobs and growth. The United States and Israel's war will strengthen the Iranian government's legitimacy with its people, argues Ross Harrison, a senior fellow at the Middle East Institute. And now to sports news. The head of Senegal's football governing body, FSF, has pledged to mount a crusade against a decision by the Confederation of African Football CAF to strip the country's Africa Cup of Nations title, as its legal team warned that the case could reshape the world of football and undermine the principle that refereeing decisions are final. Lawyer Juan de Dios Crespo Perez, representing Senegal's ruling body, told a news conference on Thursday that this decision cannot even be considered a true sporting justice ruling, saying it is so crude, absurd, and irrational. The FSF lodged an appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sports CAS on Wednesday against the decision to overturn the result. Senegal were ruled to have forfeited the final in Rabat on January 18 after walking off the pitch in protest at a potentially decisive penalty awarded to Morocco. They returned and scored a goal in extra time to win the game 1-0. Transgender women athletes are now excluded from women's events at the Olympics after the IOC agreed to a new eligibility policy which aligns with US President Donald Trump's executive order on sport ahead of the Los Angeles 2028 Summer Olympics. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, said eligibility for any female category event at the Olympic Games or any other IOC event, including individual and team sports, is now limited to biological females, noting that this is to be determined by a mandatory gene test once in an athlete's career. It is unclear how many, if any, transgender women are competing at Olympic levels. No woman who transitioned from being born male competed at the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics, although New Zealand weightlifter Laurel Hubbard did at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021 without winning a medal. The new eligibility policy, which will apply at the July 2028 LA Olympics and other games going forward, aims to protect fairness, safety, and integrity in the female category, the IOC said. The test will be carried out through a saliva sample, cheek swab, or a blood sample. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at Mitv Plus across Facebook, Instagram, and X. You can watch us live on YouTube at Mitv Plus NG. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. I am Layo Shobo for Lauren Shaw.